Okay. That's me. So welcome everyone to Srimad Bhagavatam on Sunday morning. We are reading from Canto 4, The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 8, Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest, and this happens to be the last verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. I feel if we do the word to word first, then it will be easier for us to sing and understand the verse. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied,
Ma Bhishta,
Bhishta,
do not be afraid.
do not be afraid.
Balam,
Balam,
the boy Dhruva,
the boy Dhruva,
Tapasaha,
Tapasaha,
by his severe austerity,
by his severe austerity,
Duratyayat,
Duryodhana,
strongly determined,
strongly determined,
Nivartayishe,
Nivartayishe,
I shall ask him to stop this.
I shall ask him to stop this.
Pratiyat,
Pratiya,
you can return.
you can return.
Swadham,
Swadham,
your own respective homes.
your own respective homes.
Yata,
Yata,
from whom.
Prabhu,
He, certainly.
certainly,
Vaha,
Vaha,
your.
your
Prana nirodha,
Prana,
choking the life air.
choking the life
Asit,
as it
happened.
happened.
Uttana pade,
Prana,
on account of the son of King Uttanapad.
account of Son King Uttanapad,
Mai, unto me. Sangat Atma,
Atma,
fully absorbed in thought of me.
fully absorbed in thought of me.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha,
Sri Bhagavan Vacha,
Ma Bhishtata Balam, Ma Bhishtata Balam Tapaso Duratyayan. Nivartayishe Pratiyat Swadhama. यतो हि वः प्राणनिरोधाशे औत्तानपादेर्मयि सङ्गतात्मा श्रीभगवानुवाच माभीष्टत बालं तपसो दुरत्ययान् निवर्त्ययिष्ये प्रतियात् स्वधाम यतो हि वः प्राणनिरोध आशे
यतो हि वः प्राणनिरोधास्ते
उत्तानपादैर्मयि सङ्गतात्मा
उत्तानपादे मयि सङ्गतात्मा
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवान्
माभीष्टतबालं तपसो दुरत्ययान्
आयिष्टबालं तपसो दुरत्यया
निवर्त्ययिष्ये प्रतियात् स्वधाम
निवर्तन्ते
यतो हि वः प्राणनिरोधासे
यतो हि वः प्राणनिरोधास्ते
उत्तानपादैर्मयि सङ्गतात्मा
उत्तानपादे मयि सङ्गतात्मा श्रीभगवान् उवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
पृष्ठता बालं तपसो दुरातया
माभीष्टकालो तपसा दुरत्यया
निवर्तयिष्ये प्रतियात् स्वधाम
निवर्तयिष्ये
यतो हि वा प्राणनिरोध आसीत्
यतो हि वा प्राणनिरोधसे
तानपादेर्मयि सङ्गतात्मा
उत्तानपादैर्मयि सङ्गतात्मा श्रीभगवानुवाच
बालं तपसो दुरात्यया
निवर्तयिष्ये प्रतियात् स्वधाम यतो हि वा प्राणनिरोधासे उत्तानपादैर्मयि सङ्गतात्मा श्रीभगवानुवाच माभैष्टबालौ तपसमुद्रतया
निवर्तयिष्ये प्रतियात् स्वधाम
यतो हि वा प्राणनिरोधासे उत्तानपादैर्मयि सङ्गतात्मा Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Jai Shri Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, My dear demigods, do not be perturbed by this. It is due to the severe austerity and full determination of the son of King Uttanpad, who is now fully absorbed in thought of me. He has obstructed the universal breathing process. You can safely return to your respective homes. I shall stop this boy in his severe acts of austerity, and you will be saved from this situation. Purport. Here, one word, Sangatatma, is misinterpreted by the Mayavadi philosophers, who say that the self of Dhruva Maharaj became one with the Supreme Self, the personality of Godhead. The Mayavadi philosophers want to prove by this word that the super soul and the individual soul became united in this way, and thereafter such unification, the individual soul has no separate existence. But here it is clearly said by the Supreme Lord that Dhruva Maharaj was so absorbed in meditation on the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that he himself, the universal consciousness, was attracted to Dhruva. In order to please the demigods, he wanted to go himself to Dhruva Maharaj to stop him from his severe austerities. The Mayavadi philosopher's conclusion that the super soul and the individual soul become united is not supported by this statement. Rather, the super soul, the personality of Godhead, wanted to stop Dhruva Maharaj from this severe austerity. By pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one pleases everyone. Just as by watering the root of the tree, one satisfies every branch, twig, and leaf of the tree. If one can attract the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one naturally attracts the whole universe because Krishna is the supreme cause of the universe. All the demigods were afraid of being totally vanquished by suffocation. But the personality of Godhead assured them that Dhruva Maharaj was a great devotee of the Lord and was not about to annihilate everyone in the universe. A devotee is never envious of other living entities. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the fourth canto, eighth chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Dhruva Maharaj Leaves Home for the Forest. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरेर्नाम 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 एव केवलम् कलो नास्तेव 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 गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपास्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दिनतारिणे श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं परमानन्दं माधवम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। So in one of the comedian TV show, he used to say in Hindi, I'll say first, and then I try to translate in English. It's a मजाक मजाक में काफी लोगों ने टीवी खोल लिया है। matlab, in in a funny way, he's trying to say that he's not worthy of, um, nobody is supposed to see him, but in Majak meaning in doing the, you want to make a prank with someone or something like that. मजाक मजाक में काफी लोगों ने टीवी खोल लिया है, मतलब मजाक मजाक में in funny way a lot of people have come to see me. So I really appreciate all of you to be here. It's your mercy that you come here and give us your association. Thank you so much. Utterly unqualified and unworthy of sitting here and sharing Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm supposed to be listening to any one of you, but Shyam Kishore Prabhu's mercy and order that I'm here, trying to share something meaningful that I can implement in my life. uh, want to share that I'm really struggling and need your mercy in sadhana and in service. Need some focus, need some seriousness, sincerity. So please pray for me that right words come at the right time. So here, our Srila Prabhupada, in the first sentence, very wonderfully shares his heart out, his love for Krishna as person. If you see the theme of Srila Prabhupada's translation, and it is actually Bhaktivedanta ecstasies, his love for the Lord in his personal form, and any opportunity he gets to share that anyone who is not in line with Sagun Sakar Roop of the Lord, the personal form of the Lord, he is taking no stone unturned, as it says, to share that fact. Uh, Here he says, Sangatatma. That word is very misinterpreted by the Mayavadis. So what he really means is that anyone who is not considering the personal form of the Lord is actually not in line with what the Lord is talking about. Sri Krishna Bhagavan is talking about. Now, here he could have highlighted so many other things from the translation that we'll read the translation one more time. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, "My dear demigods, do not perturbed by this. It is due to the severe austerity and full determination of the of the son of King Uttanpa." So here the severe austerity could have been highlighted, full determination could have been highlighted. Who is now fully absorbed in the thought of me. Just that part, he is in thought of me, could also been highlighted, could also be said so much more about. He has obstructed the universal breathing process. Now just that statement itself, think about it. One 5-year-old boy could obstruct the universal breathing process. This is something that we have never seen, heard. We cannot even think of it. We cannot even fathom, right? That somebody can stop the breathing process. And here it is stated that Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. So in every atom or within the universe, as we all know how the universe is created, and there are material elements, five gross and 3 subtle. There are layers of these elements, right? Earth, air, water, fire, and ether, and mind, intelligence, and ego. Now, just for visualization purpose, that each layer is 10 times bigger than that. And that is just one universe. Now, in that universe, there is a universal breathing process. So there are some vents that is go in and out of the universe, or somehow the air is circulated, which is very, very difficult for us to kind of understand on and put our head around or mind around. But it is a fact that this air that we are breathing, there is some circulation, some mechanism is there that we are able to breathe, and the proper supply of air is coming to us. And as modern science has already, polluted it in so many, bad ways, and there is a quality of air, and now you can see on your app also what is the quality of your air when you're breathing in that local area, and then you'll see people wearing masks and things like that, especially when in India, you know, all the Westerners or anybody from outside of India coming, they'll have those gas chamber masks wearing it. It looks like alien, when you when you see them. It's like there's a big pipe coming out of it, and then only you can see the eyes. And I went to Kumbh Mela, so one of the ashrams we went to see. There are so many people walking around like that, and I was like, "What is this?" And then that person who was in charge of the ashram, he said in Hindi, "Ah, आपको नहीं मालूम ये लोग ऐसे ही है." So that means he was saying, "You don't know, this Westerners are like really very concerned about the air that they breathe." So here, um, Dhruv Maharaj with his severe austerities, as we all know, and we've been relishing this amazing chapter with so many wonderful devotees sharing their realizations and sharing wonderful, points that Dhruva Maharaj is leaving his house, leaving for the forest, and encounter of pure devotee of the Lord Narad Muni. And we really appreciate Divyatith Prabhu and Shyam Kishore Prabhu for sharing last 2 days very powerful, wonderful classes by the glorification of Guru and the material situation. Don't take it lightly. Don't take it for granted what we have. And here Srila Prabhupada again sharing that first of all, to be in some kind of faith in something is rare in this world. We had some devotees from China or somebody from China, so he was sharing. If you in China, if you ask, what is your religion? Can you guess what is the answer? Anyone can answer? Anyone can guess? What is, if you ask any person on the street, you'll ask them, what is your religion? What will they answer? Any guesses? Huh? Atheism, okay. Any guesses? Communism. Very good, yeah. They'll say communist. My religion is communist. Huh? China, yes, in China. So they are programmed in such a way that becoming communist is the goal of your life. To make country strong and work for the country and whatever the task is given to you, if you fulfill that, that is the goal of your life. Now, from that point on, we will come back to any other religion. To have faith in some deity or some, uh, personality or some energy that is even higher than that, right? And to come from there, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, is Mayavadi. That person who they think that Bhagavan or the Supreme Person, Supreme Personality of Godhead is not a person. He is some kind of, you know, pool of energy. And that energy takes the form. Those are Mayavadis. So we are actually the rarest of the rare species. If you see, even in humans, to consider the God or supreme, that that representation of God or God himself is a person, to believe that is the rare, entity, so to speak. श्री श्री राधा गोपी जन भगवान की जय, निताय पतित पावन गौर भगवान की जय, श्री पाद की जय. So we are very very fortunate to know what we know, and we are trying to practice what whatever we know to the best of our ability. And Divyadev Prabhu's class was really, really eye-opening that what are we doing? What are we really doing? And I take a lot of inspiration from that for myself, that we are really, the time pass will not get us there. If you are taking the ticket from here to Ahmedabad, you cannot go to Bangalore, right? The ticket, the ye yatha mam prapadyante. If I have paid for Ahmedabad, I will not end up in Bangalore. That is for sure. So same way, we become serious. We become very grateful to the devotees and the process. The the feeling of gratefulness is so magnanimous or so wonderful that there is no other negative feeling can one cannot possess being grateful and any other negative feeling. You know, that being grateful, being thankful to the process and the senior acharyas and the devotees, whoever have helped us becoming better version of ourselves. If you become grateful all the time, you really have no problem. If we all, the problem arises only when you feel you forget that being grateful, what we are, what we have been received, where we were, where am I now? And of course, the goal has to be fixed up in the service of the Lord. But just being constantly grateful is the best way to be humble. And as our Siksashtakam, third verse should be worn as a belt, as a dog of our spiritual master. Trinadapi sunichena taroriva sahishna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadari. Only when we are humble, we are grateful. Only grateful heart can be humble, and the humble heart can be grateful. This is actually very, very, very complementary to each other. When you are grateful, you feel humble that, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this mercy. I have got it because of not my endeavor, by someone else's causeless compassion that they felt that this person is really struggling. Let me give him some understanding. Let me give him some idea about what is this life about. And all this book distribution, all this prasadam distribution, all this Srila Prabhupada's program is just about that. Sharing our good fortune with everyone else around us, facilitating people around us, or our family members, our loved ones, anyone that you come in contact with. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. We really need to take this process very, very seriously. The holy name will definitely work. The holy name will take its holy name is Sri Ram Prabhu is extremely potent and can give us anything what we want. But what we want is actually very, very critical for us to um, decide and what is our priority. As Divyatit Prabhu said, on the other day also, Shyam Prabhu was saying that we have to, okay, for material benefit and to put body and soul together and have earning situation and all those things, we have to do material stuff. But we have to time and again, even in our household activities or communication, what we need to do is, what we need to share is these great personalities, about Rupa Goswami, about Sanatan Goswami, about Shri Radha Gopishana Prabhu, about Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. We have to, we have to, out of the. All right. So I just want to check the time because I don't want. Okay, we are good. So these personalities who are inspiring us, we have to bring it into our conversation on a day-to-day basis, or we have to see how great they are, or emphasis their importance in our life. Because if we just do our 16 rounds and go to Bhagavatam and then we don't put into into the application or in a day-to-day activity, we don't value their presence in our life, then we are actually living two-faced life. That we have one thing to one life to about spirituality, but when it comes down to material level, we don't value their presence. We then don't value their contribution. So yes, according to the propensity, according to the need, one has to work and one has to study and one has to do their level best. But our goal, our aspiration should be this this personality. The goal should never be anything other than the devotional service. No matter where you are, no matter what you are doing, your sadhana, whatever the number of rounds you have committed, and that should never be altered or that should never be missed. Of course, we have such wonderful examples around us, and we are very, very grateful to Srila Prabhupada for giving us this wonderful process. I was just going to share some of the shlokas or verses that came into mind when Lord Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna, takes things in his own hand. You know, in Bhagavatam, so many places. I mean, we are so fortunate. All the other scriptures, I'm not a big scholar of the, other religion and other, scriptures. But here, to hear that Krishna himself, God himself speaking, I will do this. This is I am. It's very rare to hear that statement from that person. Otherwise, most of the places what we say is that the followers have written something and they say it in the glorification of God. But God himself speaking is really very rare if you analyze the scriptures. So one of the shloka that comes into mind is this one, that Krishna says that, you know, we can say it together. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivisto matta smritirgnanamapohanam cha vedesya sarve rahameva vedyo vedanta krita veda videva chaham. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. And in this one he says, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Now, Vedanta stands for the end conclusion of Vedas. So, Vedanta, he is the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower. Another shloka comes into mind is all the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita that that is there. Also, very wonderfully, the Lord says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samanvitaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this, engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Macchitta madagata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The theme of all these verses are like Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna saying, me, mine, become mine. That theme, where in this shloka that is in Bhagavatam, when the demigods approached, they said, they were told by Krishna or Vishnu, I will go, don't worry, I'll take care of this boy. So the translation for this verse is the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि आत्मभावस्तो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता. श्री श्री राधा गोपी जनरल भगवान की जय. निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि भगवान की जय. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. To show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. And this last one that I thought of, there are so many verses Krishna says, but this only few of them I was wanting to share. Matta parataram nanya किंचेदस्ति धनंजय मयि सर्वं इदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Very, very powerful verses. Very, very amazing, verses that give us some understanding, on at least on a theoretical level, that who Krishna is, how things are maintained, how things are manifested, how things are removed or recycled, so to speak, and destruction. Well, I'm really in a in an awe that how in the world person like me really speaking all this and knowing, uh, getting this opportunity to practice is the greatest fortune, and being in the association of devotee is even more rare. So take this process very sincerely, very seriously. Srila Prabhupada says this lifetime we can make it. We can make it only if we are sincere. Only if we are lolyam hi kevalam mulyam. We really need to be greedy to please devotees, please Krishna's senses. And these words of mine really won't stick to you and won't really make any effect, because I'm really just lip service. There is nothing in my heart that reciprocate or you know uh, share that same feelings. I'm just speaking for the sake of speaking, but I've heard, so I'm responsible for sharing it. But by saying that, I want to become more sincere, more serious in the service. Um, I just very quickly share something because a lot of you were sharing, oh Prabhu, you should share something about Kumbh Mela. So very briefly, I would share that I was very fortunate by the devotees' mercy and especially from the cooperation of my good wife, Prem Pallavi, that I was able to go into service. Shrida as well. Thank you, Shrida, for being so cooperative. So I was there. I was have a unique opportunity of sharing. There were two individuals, Westerners. They came to India for the first time, and one of them is a devotee you all probably know, Devkinandan Prabhu, Dev Cooper. So we were just casually talking before I was planning to leave, and I was casually talking, yeah, Prabhu, this is every 144 years, this that, and 2 3 days later he calls me, Prabhu, I booked my ticket. I was like, Prabhu, we were just talking. You've told me you're coming. I have to like arrange things for you. You should tell me that you're coming. So by Krishna's grace, he came for the first time to India, and after coming to Kumbh Mela, he stayed there for first a few days, and then went to Mayapur, Vrindavan, and Rishikesh also. So that I was some way, some part, 0.001 part responsible for kind of making that arrangement. So I'm really feeling grateful about that. He had a wonderful time, and I asked him if he can come share his realizations or highlights of what he visited. Last time when I was here at the temple, he said his highlight was the cows on the street and how accessible they were and how wonderful it is to be in presence of those cows. So if somebody didn't go to India ever, didn't see the cows on the street and so on, it's really so fascinating for him, and he really felt connected with the cow. He would just go and hug. He would just go and hug the cows. So that was really heartwarming for me to know that he was really got connected. He really got connected with Bharat Bhumi, Punya Bhumi, and he visited Mayapur for the first time. He met his Guru Maharaj, and he got some service also. He said, "Okay, I got some service that I'll be able to contribute to my Guru Maharaj's overall services." So that was really wonderful. And yeah, Devkinandan Prabhu, he comes here sometimes. Devkinandan Prabhu, Dev Cooper. So he had a sore throat, so he couldn't come. Otherwise, I would have loved to hear him, his realizations. His another person is also very special person named Hugo. This person is born in Honduras, and he had a really rough childhood, rough situations. Lived very, he struggled a lot, and now he's a very prominent personality. And one of the Indradanda Maharaj's disciples, Her Grace Sri Guru Charan Padma Mataji, connected me with him, and she came to know that I'm planning to go. So we kind of planned, and the way our Mayapur, our Prayagraj accommodation and all those things worked in such a mysterious way. By the time I landed Prayagraj, I didn't have a place to stay. So what to speak of my staying? I had two other individuals to manage also. But it's so amazing how Krishna works through devotees, how wonderfully things manifested, and I had a place to stay. And not only me, I was able to serve so many other devotees to come take a dip, take a bath, and somehow I can't thank enough Atul Nimai Prabhu and his family, and Ankit Prabhu, his brother-in-law, and all of his family actually in Prayagraj, local, his friends, how selflessly, how amazingly they served all the devotees who came, and you know, and assisted them in their their wanting to be part of this Kumbh Mela. Last thing I wanted to share is when His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj uh, was sharing with the eco village devotees who were part of this mega kitchen. They were serving 100,000 plus devotees, 100,000 plus pilgrims for prasadam. Anand Prem Prabhu and Gaurang Prabhu was also, he's the main, and Anand Prem Prabhu was the in charge in the sector 6 where I was. So he was sharing such a wonderful thing that Maharaj was addressing before the devotees were leaving for this service for the Kumbh Mela. So Maharaj was sharing that why Prayagraj is important for us is because Lord Chaitanya has visited. Why Kumbh Mela is important for us is because Prabhupada visited. And then he shared their glories and how Mahaprabhu spoke to Rupa Goswami, and then Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu came out of that at the Dashashwamedh Ghat. And he was sharing on and on about the glories of this devotees or Lord Chaitanya. And he said, so funny, he said, नेक्टर का एन भी शेयर नहीं किया. मतलब he did not share even n or anything about that nectar, that it's so glorified that because of this, samudra manthan, or the, what do you call it, churning of the ocean, that nectar came and Rahu and this, all these drops fall. He didn't even say a word about it. So we can all see that for our parampara, for us, we are all looking into, technically speaking, and Indians are best at it, that return on investment, right? This every 144 years coming, let's go and clean our all the sins, and let's become ready to do more. So that is not the point here, right? That is not the thing here. We take this opportunity. Why we have to, as Radhanath Maharaj mentioned, that why we go to this Prayag, this kind of gatherings, is because this is our opportunity to showcase Krishna consciousness, share Krishna consciousness, do some preaching activity. That is why devotees would go and participate in this kind of gatherings. So Maharaj gives a couple of classes, and in one of the classes he was very funny. He was mentioning that anyone who is there in this gathering, he was giving it the temple class, that he was addressing few hundred devotees, and he said, "You all are here now in the Purna Kumbh Mela, in 2025. There is the next Kumbh Mela is in Ujjain, 2028. So make sure you all are there." See, he was jokingly, he was saying that, it felt serious at that time. But then he said, and the next Purna Kumbh Mela is after 144 years, 2169. Make sure you're all there too. so so he was very funny the way he said that just by going and dipping. We were talking to so many devotees in Prayag also. It really is not a bhakti. Just going and taking a dip is not bhakti, because we were talking about so many thousands and crores of people are coming. But what is the take home message? What is the sadhana? What is the practice? What are you taking it home? Okay, you went there, did the dip, now you are clean, but the mentality to sin is not going. And unless this practice is there, unless we have firm faith, unless we are connected with the Guru Shishya Parampara, unless we have devotees in our life, unless we have faith in the holy name, everything is back to square one. As Maharaj said so many times wonderfully, this statement that he was in airport and talking to environmental, you know, Menka Gandhi, the environmental minister, and she's coming and saying in a very, authoritative and not so happy way that what are you Swamis doing? There's all everything is unclean, everything is, people are doing all kinds of crazy, environment is polluted, this and that. Then Maharaj took a pause and said, the real problem is not people who are doing it, what is external. Real problem is internal. If the internally one is not clean, that manifestation or unclean internal desires, internal, wanting to abuse and exploit Mother Nature, if that doesn't go away, it will be manifested outside. So even if somebody cleans it today and everything is very clean, in due course of time, this same situation will happen. So we all introspection, as uh, Devatit Prabhu was so wonderfully mentioning, that we have to introspect, we have to clean our hearts, And the best way to do is by Srila Prabhupada's propagation, and Mahaprabhu mentioned Cheto Darpan Marjanam Bhava Dava Nirvapan Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaran Vidya Chiva Ananda Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So we need to take the advantage of this wonderful process of chanting Hare Krishna and being the instrument in the hands of Krishna and Krishna's devotees to facilitate everyone become Krishna conscious. Thank you so much again for the opportunity to share. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम जय। कुमार प्रभु की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। Anyone else has any comments or reflections? I don't think anyone has here. Anyone on Zoom? Okay, we'll end it here. Thank you so much.
Prabhuji, very nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.